Hello and welcome to another video. In this one we've got Roadie, he's down there in the bottom left of the picture. We are going to take him on a socialization session to the local big shopping mall. We're going to walk there and then we're going to spend some time doing the art of nothing. I'm just going to sit on the wall and with him let the world go by. We're going to let a few people come up to him and say hello if he's willing to do that. He is, a spoiler alert. He says hello to a few people. He gets petted by, I think, one. Says hello to a few more. He does great. He does absolutely great. It's not an area he's particularly confident in or around. He's only been there once before with myself. I don't think he's been there prior to that. The other interesting thing about this one is Roadie doesn't really pull in this video, which is unusual for him. And if you've been following this guy, after his knee surgery, because he's been locked up for a long time and we've only been slowly increasing the length of his walks from 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, up to now unrestricted level of walks, no running, no jumping, no clowning around still, but he's allowed to do unrestricted walks. So as you might understand, a dog that's been cooped up for that long has had a real need to just pull and go forwards and be a bit of a clown show on the end of the leash. He doesn't do that on this video. I don't know what's changed, whether it's because he's back in the harness, which I do apologise for you watching me be an incompetent muppet with this harness. It took me about 2.5 minutes to get on him in the end, but whatever. He hasn't worn it in months and I don't fit it to any other dogs. It confused me, whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, interesting that we don't see pulling from Roadie in this video. Very different to his usual. Maybe that's a sign he is starting to calm down after his surgery, because he has been getting out more, has been doing more things, which is exactly what he needs. And I will be involving my dogs in later videos, and we'll start that socialization around other dogs again. But this one is just him and me, just going somewhere I know he struggles with deliberately and just letting him experience that and sit in the uncomfortableness of the moment. And he does really well. He actually says hello to people, he gets petted. That's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And then we walk home again. We get barked at by a few dogs in windows. We stop and we look and we just do working through that particular scenario. I think there's 3 or 4 times we have to do that, and he handled most of those really well. He did one, I think he caught me off guard, and he did a bit of a pull forwards and I had to take a step to regain my balance, but you'll see that if you watch it through. This is done in almost one take. Roadie did the unthinkable. He managed to pull the leash across the front of my phone where it sat on my recorder on my chest, and he managed to stop the recording. So there's about 2 seconds of footage missing. And I think perhaps at some point, my own clumsiness, I knocked my phone upside down in the holder, so I stopped and fixed that. Otherwise, the intent here is I'm trying to show everything. I'm not trying to show a flash short sample of something working that's out of context. This is the whole shebang, as it were. This is me. You didn't see me come into the house, but nothing to do with that. Just walk in. Roadie doesn't bark or growl or do anything. He just lays down on his bed where you saw him first in the video. He hasn't even moved. So I just want to show everything. It's done as honestly and transparently as I can. The whole thing is here for people to see. That does mean mostly not a lot's happening. Can't get around that. It's not meant to be flashy or attractive. It's meant to be real. That's what it is with dogs, working through difficult behavioral problems, working through dogs that are shy or fearful or whatever it might be with a particular issue. And Roadie doesn't have a great deal of confidence, so for him this is a confidence building thing. He's not well socialized, difficult areas in the world, and that's what we're doing. It's not quick, it's not flashy, it's slow, dull, and sometimes boring, but it is what it is. And you get little wins along the way, like when he willingly says hello to someone and lets them pet him, and that's great. It's absolutely great. It's those little wins which are actually the milestones in progress that are really good to see. So that in mind, I'm not trying to tell you don't expect anything interesting. That's not what I'm saying, but I am trying to say transparency in these things, when you show the whole product, does mean I'm not giving you a highlight. If you want to see quick, sharp, short highlights, well, I have YouTube Shorts for that. You're welcome to go see those. I will do some clips from stuff and continue to do that as an alternative view. But what I want to show when I'm working with a client's dog in the longer term, what I'm doing when I have a whole session with them, I want people to see that whole thing. And I want to see, or don't want to be able to be accused of just hiding what goes on behind closed doors to get progress. I don't do that. Anyway, it's windy outside. I didn't have my microphone, so I will at points interject for no better reason other than I'm trying to get rid of the stupid wind noise. I will try and do better and get my microphone on me more often. No excuses there really. So as we're about to leave, I think it's time I shut up, and you won't hear me again till it gets too noisy with wind. Calm exit, we like that. We like that. Do apologise, I haven't got my mic and it's windy. So I suspect we'll be doing quite a lot of voiceover. That's the wrong keys, you stupid boy. Where's the other keys? Sorry, I have both sets of my car keys with me. Why, I don't know. Not my cleverest ever move. But hey, alright, so as I said a couple of videos ago, Roadie has been given the all clear from the vet for walks, unrestricted. He does not have the all clear for running, jumping and otherwise being silly, but he does need to start building muscle mass back on. I'm looking straight at the leg here. Here is the area where he's had most of the muscle wastage. That is still thinner than the other leg, even though that's the leg he tends to put quite a lot of force through, but he doesn't how to describe it. He puts weight on it, but he doesn't really use it to jump. So I have seen him jump up on that bench that they've got in the back garden, and he doesn't use that leg to do it. He pulls that leg out of the way to protect it, unsurprisingly. So you can see in that position now, this leg, although it's in the strong position, the weight's always going through this one. Unless oh yeah, there's ants down there, you don't want them. So yeah, we've got to get that muscle mass built up on that leg before he's allowed to start doing anything which could be construed as high energy. As I've said multiple times, what he had was a serious surgery. TPLOs are nasty. He will never be the same dog again that he was before the surgery, but life did not give him blessed genetics, sadly. His physical health is not everything it could or should be, sadly. That's the hand he's been dealt, so that's what we've got to work with. I'll try and keep my camera stable. It's not the best rig in the world. I wanted to show the whole process. It's not going to be a short video. It's probably not going to be too exciting unless anything crazy happens. But I just want to show how it goes. Sorry, voiceover time, because the wind just gets absolutely crazy here as we go to cross this road. Nothing of note occurs. We literally just walk across the road. There's nothing going on which is helpful or needs any kind of description. One thing I will point out, as I mentioned earlier, Roadie doesn't really pull much, if at all, on this video. It is a warm day. I know we're in autumn here in Melbourne, but this was a very abnormally warm day. My car thermometer said 28 degrees centigrade. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I have no idea. But it's warm, unseasonably warm. We've gone from high teens in centigrade all the way up to 28, and yeah, perhaps that has an effect on him. I don't know. But it was nice not to be pulled, don't get me wrong, very nice, but it was different. And the only two things that I can think of that are different from this scenario to any other day I've walked him down here is he's got a harness on and the weather was warm, and notably warm. It wasn't normal. We've had chilly week and then all of a sudden, boom, hot day. So that could certainly have had an effect on him. I did pontificate, I think, at some point whether he got taken out by his owner in the morning. I've since confirmed that's not the case. He was not taken out, so he hasn't had any prior exercise. So it's either the sunshine or the harness, or he's not feeling well. I doubt it's not feeling well, because otherwise he'd have been a lot more grumpy, and he wouldn't have said hello to people when we get to the mall, and he does say hello to people. Anyway, I'll see if the wind noise has stopped and we can go back to original audio. I'm not really describing anything useful. There's no dogs down here. We don't have anything interesting occur until we get to the traffic lights at the end of the road. To half an hour with me since it's op. I don't really have any reservations that he would like to walk for an hour. It's just a question of watching him and seeing how his body is responding to a longer walk. How well healed is he? Does it hurt when he starts to get past that initial yay, we're out type attitude? And we take it from there. So yeah, the goal here is not we're doing an hour's walk, end of discussion, whatever happens, happens. It's a little bit softer than that. It says I would like to get to the mall, which in a fast walk we could probably do in 15 minutes. But if he shows signs of not coping with that, we'll cancel and we'll go home. But we've got to start doing longer stuff. So here we go. Right, can't see around this fence on my right, so I'm just going to shorten up the lead. I have no idea if anyone on a bike or a scooter or whatever is coming. This is a very popular path for people on scooters and bikes, so we do just have to be a little bit aware. I'm going to put my sunglasses on. Hey. Thank you. I don't think it came out on the microphone of the phone. There was a gentleman in his driveway there, just about getting his car, so I was walking past with Roadie, and he said, "Beautiful dog," after I said hello to him. Yeah, everybody is a good looking dog, can't hide that. Totally accurate. And I am going to continue talking because I've played this back further ahead and the wind down here is just crazy. I was waxing lyrical by this point about how well Roadie's behaving on the leash and how calmly he's walking. He does something very weird here. Puts his whole head in the wheel arch. I've never seen a dog do that before. What? That's very strange. I've never seen a dog just go and put their whole head in the wheel arch of a car. That's very weird. I don't know why he felt the need to do that. Clearly a smell in there. I presume that you had been somewhere off-road and some interesting smelling dirt has been sprayed up into the wheel arch, and Roadie decided he needed to get his nose on it. But yeah, bit different. Odd boy. But yeah, as you know, dogs are scent driven. Shouldn't be that much of a shock that if something's super smelly they might put their head somewhere, but most dogs are a bit more shy and retiring about putting their heads in places like that. Roadie apparently not today. Like I said, he's not his usual self. There's not really any pulling, and he's putting his head in weird places, and then he goes and says hello to people at the mall. Yeah, curiously different. Right, we'll try to go back to original audio, and we will see what the wind is like. If not, I'll come back and I will talk about something useful. Previously has been walked him yesterday. Short walk, 15 to 20 minutes yesterday, and he was just pulling like a freight train the whole walk. And walked him last week for three 15 to 20 minute walks. Same deal, he was just pulling like a freight train. I've said on my shorts I've released of him, that's normal. I'm expecting that from a dog that's been cooped up and is only just being allowed to start walking again for any length of time. It's not a shock that he would be behaving like an absolute crazy person. It's to be expected. Till he can get something which gives him a nice positive outlet for his energy, it's to be expected, and he's not allowed to do that yet. And it'll come. Sadly, he's just got to grin and bear it. Grin and bear the pulling. Just got to get back out there in the big wide world and live it. So that's what we're doing. It's not very nice for us who are holding the leash and having our arms wrenched off, but it is what it is. I say all these things that he's doing, he's clearly not. He's not wrenching my arm off at all. This is not difficult. It does make me question whether his owner has taken him out today before she went to work. Either that or the heat's a bit more intense than he was ready for. I don't know. Don't know what the deal is. There's a call. He's got, what have you got? Roadie, really? Bit of bread. Carry on. Bit of bread. Well, maybe you're a duck. And no, I'm not going to go in there and try and wrestle a piece of bread off him. He's welcome to that. Don't think it's going to make you feel very good, but well, there you go. So we're going to cross the road here and walk up there, see how we're doing. Well, we're going to have quite a long wait here because we've just missed the turning of the lights. Poop. Would it be worth walking up to the next one? We'll be here for 3 or 4 minutes. No, I guess we'll just wait. Sorry, he's down here. So the air compressor on the bus going off made him jump. It's okay. I don't really want him getting into the road. Perhaps I might just call him more. Roadie, Roadie. We'll just stay away from the edge a little bit. We don't need to get close. So he's just leaning on me down there at the moment. I did say we'd be here for 3 or 4 minutes, I wasn't lying. This is a rubbish traffic light. Alright, we've got a scooter coming at us, so we'll shift out of the way a sec. Right, it will be us. Roadie, let's go! Get this side, dude. So he's behind me. There we go. Not paying attention. Come on. All the way. Now he's with me. Oh, what was so interesting behind us? So, I mean, he's not being normal today. He's a dog that's in front of me 99% of his life. Just then, he chose to be behind. Peculiar. Very peculiar. Going into the whatever that is, medical place. CAP or CPA, so don't know. Have a sniff. Where are you going? Odd dog. He hit the end of the leash there with a little bit of force. He's done worse. So we're going to deviate here. I'd rather walk down this little bit of green than right by the road. Then we'll go up behind this fence that's straight in front of us, and we will walk around to the mall. How long have we been going? 20 minutes. That's about right now. So we are walking a little bit slower than he usually does, but it's not snail's pace either. Get into the fence. But we will keep him on a much shorter leash as we go around unsighted corners. We don't need scooters or bikes running into us. That's not what we want. We do need to cross the road. Not yet. No, there's a car. We will get away from this junction actually. We'll get run over if we cross the road there. And then we'll across the road. Look at this guy going up into someone's garden. So he's going a different way to me. He's over there. I'm going to face the way I want to go. And Marie's with me. We'll walk. We are walking. We are walking together. Miscommunication or wish to go in a different direction. It just means I stop and I point with my body and I wait. Same for here, we're going this way. We're doing this together. It means he's allowed to suggest things, he's allowed to want to go a certain direction, totally okay. It's up to me to make that final decision. We're not crossing the road, we're going to walk on the grass. Perfect. So the last time we came here, he was very, very worried about it. He was shaking. He was sitting on my foot to try and absorb some of my calm. He did say hello to one person, a young lady. Came up to him, was excited by him. Today's going to be all about watching how he goes. It's up to me to stop someone from interfering is the wrong word, interacting with him if he's not in the right frame of mind to do so, if he's unable to show proper calm. This is not something he's done for a very, very long time. This could well cause the same reaction the first time we were here. It could even be worse. Or conversely, he might just take to it like duck to water. It might be really easy. And my job is not to preconceive this, but to work with what I see in front of me and take it from there. We will have to cross the road at some point. Oh, yeah, there's a path up ahead, I remember now. Just looking for a sniff. Fine. No issue with that whatsoever. You hit the end of the leash then. Alrighty, so we've got people with a big ass trolley across the road. Well, didn't expect that, but we'll work with it. I suppose what we'll do is just give them right away. Well, we'll just wait here. We need to cross the road. There's cars coming. We'll wait for all the cars to be gone. Oh, someone coming another way now. The boys just stood there doing nothing. Trolley's gone past. Right, let's go. He's not paying attention to me. No, he is. No, he's not. He's at least looking where he's going. Start. Right, I'm going to short his leash right up. Going to work with him. All right, I'm stepping down here. Not in the road. We won't be on the path. Hello. Come on. He wants to follow those people. So the man we just walked past tried to reach out and touch Roadie on top of the head. That's what caused Roadie to stop walking. He wasn't particularly offended, but he did then try and follow them, which wasn't helpful. Okay, interesting one. That guy reached his hand out to touch Roadie. Roadie didn't do anything, didn't care. Looked at him and then tried to follow him. Is it that easy to win your heart, is it, Roadie? He's going to try and touch you and you're ready to go. Leave me on my own. So, using his nose, that's great. He's smelling people as they come past. So I'm going to do exactly what we did before. I'm going to go sit on that wall over there. And we're just going to watch the world go by for a few minutes. Now, hopefully, we're going to get some crazy loud noises. We're going to get someone pushing the trolleys, or the machine that pushes 100 of them at once. It's warm. It's warm. It's warm. The wall is warm. Okay, so his tail's gone a bit tucked. You see that? So he's not feeling the most confident he's ever felt. That's fine. He's in shot. Let's see if we can show a bit more of the environment as well as Roadie, but I do want to yawn, so you're getting rid of some of that stress. So he's finding this not horrendous, but not comfortable. Should we call it uncomfortable? Is that fair? He's finding this slightly uncomfortable. And this is just time. This is now the art of doing nothing. This is an environment I want him to get used to. It's busy, it's crazy, because it's noisy, it's smelly. There are mechanical noises, people, vehicles, food smells, you name it. It's a shopping mall with every kind of conceivable shop in it, right the way from fishmongers and butchers through to car dealerships. It's a big mall. Now, it's also got arcades for teenagers to go waste their money on slot machines and computer games. So yeah, it's got everything. So last time, he had already come and sat on me by now. Last time we came here, when I just sat down. Clearly he's not feeling that vulnerable this time, as he's happy in his own space.
Are you friendly?
Yeah.
No? I'll get the beagle police when I get home. Got 5 of them.
Yeah, they'll know exactly what you've done. So I just want to talk about that for a minute, and it does get windy for a minute here as well, so it kind of makes sense to do a bit of talking while Roadie continues to stand there and it's windy. Yeah, Roadie did really well. He was not fussed about that woman coming up and saying hello to him, and that's because that woman was perfectly calm when she approached him. Now, I know socialization does not mean you go and take your dog places and let everybody touch your dog when they're not comfortable with it. It has to be a decision the dog makes. And Roadie was... Yeah, I'm not calling him confident. He's not confident. You can see the tail tuck. You can see the panting. He's not confident. But he's also not at the other end of the scale. He's not freaking out. He's not panicking. He's not worried about people who come up and say hello to him. You can see from the body language. And the lady was just stood in front of him. He gave her a sniff and then he turned his head away. Truly, it wasn't an invitation to touch him either. She did breach his personal space and breach his trust a little bit with that. But have to let it go at this point. If Roadie wasn't happy with that, he'd have just moved out of the way. It would have been easy to see his body language change if he was uncomfortable, and it didn't, or more uncomfortable. So we'll just let it happen. And I think on balance, it's probably good for him to have had that experience. But it is a fine line to tread sometimes. You don't want to force the dog into interactions it's not comfortable with. It's not socialization, and that can have a counterintuitive effect and can make the dog more stressed or reactive to scenarios if they think they're not in control of their own body. So you have to take these things with a little bit of flexibility in the moment to see what the dog's presenting you with, but nothing in that interaction gave me any cause for concern. Roadie did not elevate his stress levels or his fear levels or whatever you want to call them, his uncomfortableness. It just stayed standard as he is now. And that was nice to see. I think that was good for him. So he's just checking me out there. I think there's a couple of people on the left which are looking at him, which I don't think are getting shot, because I just want a camera to keep focusing on him so we can see what he's doing. I think he's also trying to say, can we go now? So that's why he's starting to pull a little bit further away from me. I don't want to give him as much leash as he wants, because I do want people to be able to have enough room to walk around him, because not everybody wants to interact with a dog. Not everybody wants to say hello. If you come across a human, and there are probably a couple kicking around who are a bit wary of dogs, you do want them to have space to just walk past. So I don't want him taking over this entire bit of the pavement. That's not really fair. I think in fact in a minute or two I do call him back to me. So this couple on the left are just disappearing out of shot. He does interact with them. He doesn't get touched, I don't think. You can see him looking at him. In fact, they come back into the shot. So interesting. Really good body language there. You see Roadie turn away and move away. He's not interested. Why is he not interested? The guy breached Roadie's space. I'm not going to grab the footage again. If you're recalling, you can rewind if you so wish. If you recall in your mind's eye, then when the guy approached Roadie, he stuck his hand out. Sticking your hand out into a dog's face is a way of introducing yourself as you come into their space. It's actually a violation of their personal space. That's breaching a boundary, which is why sometimes that goes wrong. If you want to say hello to a dog and you want it to come and interact with you, go towards what you would think would be the boundary of the personal space and either just stand still or squat down. Don't put pressure on the dog by sticking your hand out in front, because that is reaching into their personal space. And that can result in you getting bitten. Roadie, as you saw, isn't going to do that. Most dogs won't. It's not every dog will do that, but some will. And it is a breach of personal space. That's an important point to note. If you walk up to a dog and you stick your hand out towards their nose for them to smell you, you are breaching their personal space. And that can come with a reaction which is not what you might expect. If you want them to interact with you, being the bigger animal, it is on our shoulders to just go up to them nearby, not right up to them, and just stand there or squat down and wait for them to choose to come to us. And sometimes the answer is going to be, I don't want to. And they're going to ignore you. Or in this case, you saw Roadie, he turned his head away and then he took a step. The answer to that is, I'm not interested in you. I don't want to say hello to you. Why that was the answer to these two people, I'm voicing over, so unfortunately you haven't got the benefit of that. They were too excited. They were actually talking to me as they approached. I can't remember what they said, but maybe they asked if they could say hello. I can't remember exactly what they said, but they were clearly excited. Their tone of voice gave that away to me immediately. I could tell they're excited. So they've come into Roadie's space excited. They've stuck their hand out, and Roadie's gone, I don't like your energy. I'm not interested. And he's turned his head away and moved away. That's in contrast to the lady who did say hello to him, who just came and stood in front of him, and she was side on too. So she's not presenting her frontal area to him. So she's showing a side on approach. which is less threatening way of doing it, and she just stood there and allowed him to sniff her, and then she reached for the top of his head, which is also a breach of personal space and doesn't always go how you'd like it to, but because she was far calmer in her demeanour, there was nothing excited about her voice, there was nothing elevated about the volume of her voice, there was no high-pitched squeaking. Roadie was far more comfortable with her because she came with a much lower level of energy. The two people, although they did the right thing, they squatted down to say hello to him, because they came up to him excited, and then stuck their hand out into his personal space. He wasn't interested. Your energy that you present to the dog is key. And my dog, Rollo, is particularly sensitive to this as well. People who come up to say hello to Rollo, if they're naturally calm, he's say hello to people. He'll lie down in the middle of a group of people and let them all pet him. If someone comes sort of baby stepping and baby cooing up to him, making excited noises, and is clearly giving off excited body language, he doesn't want anything to do with them. He will step away and he will look at them like, what is wrong with you? I just called Roadie then. I just said his name. I didn't give him a recall command or any other kind of command, just said his name. I wanted him a little bit closer to me because he's kind of taken over the whole pavement. But yeah, that's the point I want to note. Your energy when you come into a dog space is important, and the gestures you make are important. We really shouldn't be making any gestures. Yawn from Roadie there, he's de-stressing. The only gesture you want is just to be in the space. Let the dog choose to come to you. We are, in their heads, the bigger, scarier, stronger, meaner, nastier animal. So we have to offer them trust and respect first. It's not on them to offer us trust and respect first. That's not how it works, because we are the bigger animal. And once you do that, if you offer them the chance of coming to you to sniff you and interact with you, and they make that choice, well, great. And if they don't, unlucky. Next time, maybe. That's the way it is. But we do well to remind ourselves that treating a dog like you greet a person you don't know is not actually a bad way of doing it. Because obviously you're not going to reach the dog and shake their hand. Don't do that. There's a lot to be said for treating a dog you don't know like a person you don't know. You don't walk up to people you don't know and touch them. Certainly don't go and pat them on the head. That's not how we do things. You introduce yourself, and in fairness with dogs, it helps if you just do it silently, because their primary sense is smell. They can see your body language, they'll see the muscle tension in the way you move, and they will smell what's going on with your particular mood. So that's why it's important for us to just go and present ourselves for them to make the choice of whether to interact or not. That's how you diffuse situations much faster, and you're more likely to get a dog to interact with you in a more friendly way. Alright, let's go back to our original audio, and I hope the wind has died off, but I can't make any promises. How strange. How very, very strange. Any movement by me and he whips his head round, he's paying attention to what I'm doing, even if he's not looking at me. Alrighty, let's jog on. It was a nice little experience for him. I'm not going to let him pull like a train, no. Walk nicely. You're not getting in there. I think he's going to jump in the boot. You smell the tree. Alright, we'll walk along here. Shorten his leash up because he's got small children and I don't know how they feel about dogs. So we'll just give them a bit of space. They might be fine, they might not be. They're fine. But hey, that's my position to not take chances. I don't know how children are with dogs, and in a small enclosed space like that, we're not playing games. So we'll go back the way we came. We'll get off the road. There we go. Oh, you want to go that way? I don't mind actually. Goes to the same place. Nice shake out. Beautiful. Oh, sheltered from the wind here. It's quite nice. So there's two ways home from here. I would prefer to go back the way we came because we can cross the main road with traffic lights. It's a bit safer as it's going to be school end time and traffic will be heavy. But it's a nicer walk to go back a different way through the park. But I don't want to cross that road. It's not pleasant. Oh, there's white things on the floor are beans from beanbags. Someone's burst a beanbag down here. Oh dear. Sure, it's not very good for the environment, but weird. Oh, sorry. I need to do that. So he's pulling harder here than he was on the way to the mall. Yeah, we may as well cross here actually. Stop here. Cars coming in both directions, we'll wait. So he's just down here. Actually get him in the shot. He's doing it again. That's not where we're going. Cheeky little bugger, isn't he? We'll just start doing some parkour in someone's front garden. Different. I know we're a long way from home yet, but this has been a very, very different roadie today. Very, very different roadie. I know I haven't had the camera on for the last few times I've walked him. I haven't really seen the point. I've just been doing short walks. Sorry. The lead in front of the camera. But he is not that dog today. Strange transformation. Well, I can't see what's around this corner, so I'm going to take a little bit of a wide berth. So I'm going to get run over. Good. Okay, same deal as we come around this corner. I know this is a cycle path. Okay, we're good. There's a bit of glass there and the gravel, so I'm going to stop and go on the gravel. So there's 2 smash bottles there. Okay, I'm good here. leash while we're in the park area. Right, I'm going to test him. Let's see what he does if I hide. He's going to go around the front of that tree. I hope he doesn't go through there. In fact, I ain't letting him go through there. That's going to be... No. I'm not walking through there. Right. See what he does. Hi, nice of you to come find me. You got yourself a bit tangled up. Go on him. Perfect, that's what I want. So, that's the beginnings of Follow the Leader. Alright, the wind gets absolutely atrocious as we come around this corner, so I'll voice over what I was saying. I think I just begun saying that's the beginnings of, or a game called Follow the Leader, or you might think it looks like hide and seek, it kind of is. But I call it Follow the Leader because it's the replacement for recall. So what that is doing is putting the responsibility on the dog for knowing where the person on the end of the leash is. Usually that's going to be the owner. The concept is it's the owner, but when I'm working with a dog, it will be their dog with me. Do it with my own dogs. That's how you build that bond when they come running back to find you or looking back to find you and you make a big fuss of them. Probably should have done a bigger one than I did with Roadie there. That's how I let them know that actually I might not always be where you think I am. So it'd be well worth your while concentrating every so often on where I am and what I'm doing. And when I take them to new areas, it's especially effective. So when they're in an area they don't know, particularly if they're surrounded by people and dogs they don't know, if you disappear out of their sight, can induce a panic almost, as they realize they're not with the person they trust and they're surrounded by people and dogs they don't know and don't trust. And when they get the relief from that feeling of mild panic, when they do come back and find you, that builds a very, very strong bond, and it builds a reinforcement in the head of need to know where the owner is at all times, because that's actually a nice calming influence on what we're doing. So it's an important exercise, and it's the reason and the method in which I built up to having my dog off leash in different places. There's a responsibility on him to know where I am and what I'm doing, because if he doesn't, I might disappear, and that's a particularly uncomfortable scenario for him to be in. And it's the same with Roadie, although this is very, very early stages of that game, so there's not really any pressure on that, not really any pressure on him other than, oh, the guy's not where I thought he would be, and that's fine. You can dial up the intensity on that game to quite significant, and the more intense environment you go into. So if we went into the middle of Melbourne, in the super urban environment where there are literally hundreds of people to every square 10 meters because it's so dense, although yeah, noted that's not going to be as dense as London or anywhere near it, but you get the point. You go into a city where everything is crazy noisy and very, very densely populated, and you disappear out of view from your dog, they're not going to like that much, so they'll want to try and stick by you, and that's the idea. That's what you want them to feel like being near where you are is the best thing for them, and therefore the only way to really achieve that, if you're being random with times not being where you're expected to be, that builds up some very, very good reinforcement in the dog's brain, and to make sure that they do actually know where you are and they follow along. Or if they're leading you, they actually stop and check every so often to find out you are where they think you are. I mean, they can do that with hearing, they can do it with smell, depending on wind direction, or they can turn around and look up to them. Clearly not that difficult if they're behind you. Yeah, sorry, we got stuck at the lights again. This is a rubbish traffic light junction. It's a 3-minute light cycle, which is intensely frustrating, especially if you just missed it. It is for drivers as well, not just intensely frustrating for pedestrians. That's Melbourne for you. I don't know if it's the same outside of Melbourne, but there are multiple junctions like this around where I live where you get 3 or 4 minute light cycles. Just insane. But oh well, I can't change that. I'm not on the local government. We'll try and go to original audio as we cross the road. I think it was windy across the road, so I'll waffle on while we do that. There's a radio playing in the car on the left here, and the owner is looking at Roadie. Roadie was very intrigued by the radio. I can't remember why, but there was something about it or what was playing which really got his attention as we crossed the road, and he's going back to look at it now. I think, yeah, I actually have to nearly stop walking. Yeah, something about the radio playing in that car that got Roadie's attention. I don't know what. And we're about to nearly get run over by this guy with the trailer who's just reversed out in front of us, and he does it again. There's no beepers on this trailer, so I grab Roadie by the leash and we just got to go because the guy's touched. Reversing backwards. Yeah, you got to do it. What you got to do, what you got to do. Some scenarios, and that was one of those times you just got to grab the leash and move. Nobody wants to get run over, and I don't want Roadie getting run over. So, yep, is what it is. Just use the leash, bit of force. We're out of here, please. Otherwise, we're going to get hit by a car, and I don't want that. Right, this should do. We should be okay to go back to original audio now, and we have got barking dogs coming up in the next couple of minutes. So, under that scenario in the nose conditions, grab the leash, just get out of the way. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. That's someone's house. Appreciate your boldness. Okay, so he's trotting all right there. Okay, we've got a bit of pulling returning here. Curious that you're doing it this late on in the walk and not at the start. Oh, it's Mr. Trailer Man. He nearly ran us over. Why is he here? Right, if Roadie increases the strength of this pull anymore, I'm going to start stopping and starting. We need to stop walking. I don't know why. Oh, there's people behind us. Come on. And we're off. Good. Nice. Just come out of that house. That's all. He's getting a little bit of a groove on. I suppose I don't really mind. I'm confused as to why he was so almost relaxed to start with, and he's getting worse as we progress. You can't go in there, that's someone's house. The car has shoved his head into the wheel arch and he's doing it again. Oh, this is off again. You just tried to go in that gate. You're a nosy bugger. So you see the way he walks here. He still has a curved spine. It's always curved to the right. Which means he's putting his weight on that right side more than he's putting weight on the left side. See how it's curving? It's got C shape, as you'd read it from left to right. He's always got more weight on that back right. So he's still not. That's not a surprise, by the way. He's still not completely there. I accidentally got the dog behind the fence. Good. This dog's very old and doesn't give a crap about anything or anyone. So I'm going to do what I always do, and we will just wait When Roadie's ready to join me, he can join me. And we'll move on. The limit is he's not getting to that fence. It's not what we're doing. He needs to learn that you can just walk past. There we go, he's with me. Beautiful. I'm going. If he tries to get any closer, I will use the leash. But I don't think he can because it's going to hit the fence. So, he's pulling against me. I'm not doing anything. There's no one coming. We're just going to wait. When he's ready. So I do apologise you can't see Roadie in this footage. I am pointing my body where I would like to go, so I'm demonstrating to Roadie that I'm not engaged with the situation that he's got himself engaged with. I'm not doing anything to do with that. If he wishes to stand there and stare at the barking dog, okay, sure. We'll move on when you're good and ready. I'm not going to give you any kind of signal that I'm interested in that, because I'm not. I'm just going to give you the signal that I'm interested in leaving and going further on. This is where he manages to stop my recording. So as soon as we move there, that means he's disengaged from the scenario and we're actually moving on. Sorry, so I had to stop filming and sort my camera out. We've gone about 2 meters. There's nothing to that. But yeah, in that scenario, I just want to show the dog I am not in any way getting engaged in the scenario they've got themselves engaged with. I don't want that. I'm not doing that. We aren't doing that. I will wait for you to finish doing what you're doing, and then we can continue to do what we're doing. And the intent with that is I'm trying to make what they're doing seem entirely pointless, entirely boring, and entirely a waste of time and energy. And generally speaking, that's pretty quick that occurs. They just get over it because they realise there's nothing happening, there's nothing doing. Dogs bark at them, who cares? It happens. There's another one doing it across the street on the other side at the moment, by the way. See, he doesn't stop. It's a little bit further away, but he turns around, has a look, and then he just carries on walking with me, because again, I'm not engaging with the scenario. I'm just ignoring it, and I'm just walking through, demonstrating complete calm to the dog, and so the dog wants to continue and come back down into a calm mood. Now, there are some preconditions that are needed to achieve that. Generally, that's you have to have a dog that's got the right level of exercise in other areas of its life, so it can reach that calm, and it does just enjoy being with the owner and going for a walk and just doing the walk. If you have a dog that doesn't have its exercise needs met elsewhere, it will get super engaged in these scenarios, and these will turn into reinforcing scenarios. There he is pulled, caught me off guard. Choose the leash here. I don't know what that was about. And there is a dog behind the window in the property to the left, but I mean, he disengaged from it pretty quick. He just pulled, turned around, chewed the leash, and he's finished. Again, I'm not showing any engagement. I'm not doing anything other than I'm facing the direction I want to go, which is why the camera doesn't point at Roadie, because I'm showing him with my body what I'm actually doing and what I'm engaged with, and the choice is his to make, to come and be calm with me, or to continue to be a retard, face the barking dog and be an idiot. Like I said, that this works when you've got a dog that's got the right energy outlet, and when you can impose your calm on another animal because you are just a calm center. That is an attractive thing for them to come to and to be, but it is predicated on you having a dog that's capable of becoming calm. If it just wouldn't work with Roadie if I was trying to do this immediately after he'd been cooped up for months, and I did a couple of times and it actually came away quite nicely. But it was more of an intense stare in those earlier videos you'll have seen from a couple of months ago. But the technique does work, but there are some preconditions that must be met before it's good. You can't just take a random dog and do this on the first walk if they haven't got the ability to get calm, and that is based on what else is going on in the rest of their life. Anyway, that's enough waffling from me. We're nearly back at home. It's nearly the end of the video. Don't really show much in the home except me going in and unclipping the leash. That's all there is to it. I do take his harness off him, of course I do. In fact, it's not actually Roadie's harness, it's mine. But he's the only dog that wears it that I've ever put it on. But there we go. Well, thank you for watching, and I will let you see the last couple of moments. Otherwise, we'll see you next time in this guy's journey. So I'll keep filming a sec till I unclip his leash. I just want to show the whole process. No cuts. He's going to go straight to his bowl for a drink, understandably. I'm going to unclip you. Door did shut. Okay. down. I will stop filming.